Top 10 Best Handheld Consoles of 2025. This particular video is the most requested annual video on this channel, and it is also one of the most challenging to create because the responsibility is incredibly significant. After all, I take my role as a reviewer far more seriously than I probably should, and let's just say I own quite a few handheld consoles. For those of you who might not be familiar with them, I define these devices as those that include a screen, a battery, a gamepad, everything integrated into one unit, and they are specifically used for playing games. Do you remember the Game Boy? Well, to make it even easier for you, they still release modern versions of the Game Boy, and they release dozens every single year. There are so many different options that picking the best handheld console for yourself can become quite a challenge. I'm here to assist you with that. My goal today is to thoroughly go through all the releases from the last year, highlight my top recommendations, explain why I prefer them, and also provide you with some useful tips on how to import these amazing devices. And, spoiler alert, if you choose to buy directly from the factory, you'll find that the tax is significantly lower than you might have initially thought. Speaking of which, I encourage you to take a look at the description below. Everything should be well organized with links, reviews, accessories, and of course, a detailed spreadsheet to make the content of this video even easier to understand at a quick glance. And if you're interested, I've categorized this top 10 subscribing to the channel, as it's a lot more work than you might imagine. These 6 cost simply like $200 to $300 reais, sometimes even less. Some are worth buying on AliExpress, but often you find better prices and lower taxes on the brand's official sites. I'll explain more shortly. In this range, you can play PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Advance perfectly, and even try some N64, Dreamcast, and PSP games. I don't believe you can really expect the highest quality from any of them. They often don't come with complete hardware, such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and HDMI. The cheapest options always seem to lack something important. However, they do cover the basics and are sure to provide guaranteed fun. All of them, when purchased with a microSD card, come pre-installed with thousands of games. This allows you to take them right out of the box and start playing immediately. This feature makes them perfect for children, as gifts, or for those who are just starting to explore this world and wish to spend as little money as possible. Among them, I believe the game console R36H offers great value at just over R200. It's the only one here with 2 analog sticks. If you want to push limits and run games from PSP, Nintendo 64, or Dreamcast, this is the choice. Personally, I find the Miu Mini 30 ideal for Nintendinho games due to nostalgia. It resembles a classic controller with a screen. The downside is its small screen size, 2 to 8 inches, much smaller than the 3.5 of its competitors. And I shouldn't mention its sibling, since it's been 2 years since its release, but the Miu Mini Plus has recently become more affordable and remains a fantastic entry-level choice. Everyone who owns it loves it, and it's unique for having Onion OS, the best custom system I've encountered. Playing Pokemon multiplayer on it is simple. I'll link some videos below. Now, let's raise the bar a bit. In the price range of $51 to $90, we have approximately 10 models that were released this past year. If you don't own any of these yet and can afford to spend just a little more than what the previous models cost, I believe this is a great place to start. These models are also capable of running N64, Dreamcast, and PSP games. While they may not be perfect, they will certainly do the trick for most users. Similar to the previous models, all of these run on Linux, which essentially makes them easier to use right out of the box. You can start playing without having to configure anything. Out of the 10 models available, a significant 7 of them are produced by the ANBERNIC brand. This brand has been more creatively inspired than ever before, especially with their XX line, which has been affectionately nicknamed the P by enthusiasts. In all honesty, within this particular price range, I would strongly suggest opting for one of these P models. The main reason for this recommendation is that this line of consoles currently boasts the largest and most active community. There are numerous customized systems available for these consoles, which significantly enhance the user experience. Moreover, development efforts for this line are actively progressing and expanding at a rapid pace. Thanks to this community, it even runs on GameCube. To be honest, it runs badly, but it's something that seemed impossible. What's more, it's much easier to battle GBA Pokemon between them, and now you can even download games straight into it with the new ROM app with 2 M's. For me, the most complete of the ANBERNIC XX is the RG40XXH. It has a 4-inch screen, 2 analog sticks, the shoulder and trigger buttons are one behind the other, and it's very slim, so it slips easily into your pocket. That said, it has no personality. That's why I would choose one of these 2, the ANBERNIC RG35XXSP and ANBERNIC RG34XX, which are almost perfect clones of the Game Boy Advance, especially the 34XX, which has a pixel-perfect screen for the GBA. I think it's my favorite, except that it doesn't have an analog. So, as you can see, in the end, choosing between the XX just depends on the format you like best. There are horizontal and vertical ones, with 2 or 1 analog sticks, with 3.5-inch or 4-inch screens. There's even the ANBERNIC RG Cube XX, with a square screen, ideal for Game Boy Color, Neo Geo, and Pico 8. No matter which one you pick, the best place to buy is on the official website. There's a link in the description, and they say the tax is always between our $70, no matter the console. Now, in this category, there are two new players, the PowKiddy X35H and the legendary Miyoo Flip. Both use the RK3566, making them slightly more powerful than the ANBERNIC XX. The PowKiddy is competitively priced, while the Miyoo has two analogs and a nostalgic design. Personally, I'd pick an ANBERNIC Zixi, probably the 34 Zixi, which I'm passionate about, or the 40 Zixis H, because it's very complete. With so many updates and numerous new features for this PP family, it ultimately opens up a much broader range of possibilities compared to its competitors. Now, for the very first time in recent years, this category seems strangely empty. I am not sure why, but between $91 and $140, we have only one handheld console available. And keep in mind, I mention that because the Retroid Pocket Classic is still on pre-order. It hasn't even reached people's hands yet. It utilizes a Snapdragon that hasn't been released yet, and we are still uncertain about its performance. We suspect it might be somewhat weak, yet it is undoubtedly the most affordable Snap console I have ever encountered. I am quite eager to know its price, so sign up to discover it along with me. Additionally, there's a significant gap of $50 between the subsequent options in the $141 to $230 range. This is where things start to become intriguing. All of these are Android devices, and most of the consoles in this category are pocket-sized, boasting a significant improvement in performance. And on these devices, we'll be able to run everything from PlayStation 2, Nintendo 3DS, GameCube, and Wii. We might even try a few things from the Wii U, perhaps the PlayStation 3, and maybe even a Switch, although I wouldn't really recommend using them for these platforms. Okay, let's get started. The most affordable options are ANBERNIC 6 Series Quartet, which includes the RG556, RG Cube, RG406V, and RG406H. These devices are priced at just a little over 1,000 reais. The price is still generally around R60 to 70, similar to the 6C. Their quality is excellent, and they're more comfortable, partly because they're more robust. I believe their biggest advantage is that if you purchase them with a micro SD card, they're ready to play. Among the ANBERNICs, I would suggest the RG406H. It stands out as the most polished final product compared to the others. However, it's quite challenging to claim that they're top of the range, since the ANBERNIC are all Mali, and their processors aren't as well optimized for emulation as those used in the Retroid's competitor. For a bit more, you can purchase top consoles with Snapdragon 865 processors. I'm referring to the Retroid line, priced around $200 to $220. My top recommendation is undoubtedly the Retroid Pocket 5. Its design is outstanding, a truly premium product in every detail. Analog, screen, intuitive system, construction material, everything is very polished. For some people, unfortunately, everything from Retroid comes without games. You have to install and configure it yourself. Even so, I'm sure you won't regret RP5. Take a look at the review I posted here on the channel, because it's top-notch, okay? The Retroid Pocket Mini is also great and has the same performance, but I think this little square screen is only good for retro gaming. And when it comes to retro gaming, there are consoles available that are much more affordable, such as the ANBERNIC XX, which I showed you earlier. Additionally, there's the Retroid Pocket Flip 2, which is currently available for pre-order. The benefit of these folding consoles is that they can be made more compact, allowing you to easily fit them in your pocket. This design also offers screen protection, and the screen itself can be larger. Therefore, it could be a viable option. However, if I were to select just one, my choice would be the Retroid Pocket 5. Retroid mentions that the tax typically remains around 200 to 300 reais. However, make sure to check my Discord to find out how the price has fluctuated over the past few days, since it can change at any time. Now, the moment has arrived to discuss the most powerful handheld Android consoles in the world. To put it simply, AYN, which stands for All You Need, is currently the leading brand. Over the past few years, they have released two models, the AYN Odin 2 Mini and the Odin 2 Portal. Undoubtedly, the Odin 2 Portal is the best among all the consoles released this year. It boasts the most impressive screen I've ever seen, along with matching power. I've played Zeldina, Cry of the Kingdom, all the Switch Pokemon, even on PlayStation 3, and it surprisingly fulfills a few needs well. There are also PC games, with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 Odin 2 consoles offering endless possibilities. The best part is the price, around 300 reais. While Portal is superior, the Odin 2 Mini holds a special place in my heart for its nostalgic PS Vita design. I use it to play PS Zone, PS2, PS3, PSP, PS Vita, and even GTA 5 fits right in my hand. It's the only one of the three Odin 2 that fits in my pocket. We have reviews for all of them on the channel. I shouldn't include the Odin 2 today because it was in last year's top 10. It's priced at $299, about $30 to $40 cheaper than its newer versions, but with the same performance. So it could be worth considering. And to be fair, AYANEO does have a competitor, AYANEO. But the price is much higher, and although, in theory, AYANEO's Snapdragon G3X Gen 2 is slightly more powerful than the Odin 2, in practice, it's a niche processor, and therefore doesn't have as compatible drivers as its competitors. Now, although I think the Odin 2 portal is the best and it's my top recommendation, the truth is that the AYANEO Pocket DMG is the console I've used the most. And I know it doesn't make any sense. Something so incredibly powerful in a small Game Boy body, it might seem like nothing significant, but it possesses this elegance and ease that makes it simple to pick up and put down. I've already played quite a few games on it lately because of its fantastic portability. To conclude, we in the handheld console community are eagerly anticipating the arrival of the next generation. This new generation will feature Snapdragon Elite, promising another massive leap in performance, as you can see in the benchmark displayed on the screen. I also have the Red Magic 10 Pro, which is currently the most powerful smartphone available. There's a review of it here on the channel. Using Gamepad Mobile, any smartphone becomes a handheld console. I highly recommend the GameSeer G8 Galileo, but the G8 Plus, the X3 Pro, and the 8BitDo Ultimate Mobile are excellent options. My favorites are the G8 from GameSeer. This is often the simplest way to pay less and create the most powerful handheld console, as we all have a cell phone in our pocket or hand right now. The thing is, I don't suggest using the same device for your banking and personal data to play games constantly. That's why I favor handheld consoles over smartphones. I'm certain some will argue in the comments that Switch is superior, and it does have its perks. However, when compared to everything else like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PS Vita, Wii U, and older consoles, the Switch doesn't match up. Now we just have to wait for the Switch 2. I'll figure out how to buy it on day one until I renew my American visa. If needed, I'll stand in front of a Best Buy and elbow the gringos to do a live unboxing with you on day one, or as soon as possible. Now, back here in this video, I'm not covering all the handheld PCs featured on the channel, as it would be too long. For those unaware, these are notebooks inside a handheld console. I've reviewed the Asus ROG Ally and Lenovo Legion Go, but wanted to mention the AYANEO Flip DS, the first with dual screens, and the AYANEO Slide with a built-in keyboard. I don't usually recommend them to everyone, but view them as technological achievements and wanted to record them here, historically speaking. I'm excited about the AYANEO 3 with modular controls, and AYANEO has announced new Androids. We have the Pocket Micro Classic and the Pocket Ace. Additionally, there's the Pocket Evo, which should be arriving today or tomorrow as I record this. And lastly, I must mention Xenix, the console most adored by Brazilians. Just kidding, guys, just kidding. I doubt anyone actually likes it, but it undeniably made history. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap here. If you're aiming to spend the least amount possible, choose the 36H. If you want a strong start with a comprehensive console, choose the ANBERNIC XX range. It offers excellent quality, a good price, and formats for everyone. After that, there's a significant leap in price and performance, but I'd reserve that for a Retroid Pocket 5, which I see as a mini Odin 2 portal. They're quite similar when compared side by side. As I mentioned earlier, the Odin 2 portal is the top handheld console of the year, and my highest recommendation. There's also the AYANEO DMG, which I don't highly recommend for several reasons. It's not as versatile, yet it's the one I've personally used the most, especially when it comes to the two-screen platform. Additionally, the Red Magic 10 Pro smartphone stands out as the most powerful in the world today, by a significant margin. And that's about it, but I have a little surprise here for those of you who have been watching up to this point. This video took a while to come out because of that. I'm finalizing a new website that auto-collects prices of all handheld consoles and gamepads featured on the channel. You can see it on the screen. It's not done, right? I'm doing it solo without a developer, learning everything from scratch, so I'm posting less. But I believe in investing in the community's future. This year, I aim to launch it so you can find the best prices, videos, comparisons, and tips on custom systems. Games, translations, and modifications, everything will be included in there. However, until that moment arrives, I am sharing the best offers on our Telegram channel, which includes mini offers. Honestly, regardless of the model you decide to choose, a handheld console always ensures fun right in the palm of your hand. Whether it's the most powerful or the least powerful, what truly matters is playing and discovering new universes. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Even better, I have a community of more than 20,000 retro gamers on Discord where you can find them and ask away. Thousands of moms and dads from these magical boxes of pixelated happiness. Stay to ask questions, share ideas, learn, teach, help, and be helped. You'll find links to everything I've mentioned below in the description. And if this video helped you picture the laptop scene or just pass the time, give it a like. Each like helps YouTube share it with 10 more people. If you're up for it, subscribe so we can hit 1 trillion subscribers soon. Click the bell, hit the hype button if you can. Thanks to everyone for joining this journey. I'm Victor Yamini, and as always, I'll be right back.